It seems like nobody wants to work these days.
My father gave me a small loan of $1 million.
Hey guys, it's Sarah. Today I want to talk about creating a mindset that will help you overcome difficult conditions. But before we get into this, there's a question to ask yourself. Do you believe that the world is fair? Do you believe the best people rise to the top? Do you believe that we live in a meritocracy? I'm not answering these questions. Those are questions for yourself. And everyone that watches me today will have their own perception about these topics. And I'm by no means making a video to complain at all. It's just food for thought.
I want to thank every Amazon employee and every Amazon customer, because you guys paid for all of this.
In a letter addressed to the Attorney General Merrick Garland, lawmakers allege that Amazon thwarted the Judiciary Committee's efforts to uncover the truth about the company's business practices.
And, you know, I talk about it. It's not been easy for me. It has not been easy for me. And, you know, I started off in Brooklyn. My father gave me a small loan of $1 million. I came into Manhattan, and I had to pay him back, and I had to pay him back with interest. All my life, I was told no.
The best advice for women in business: get your up and work. It seems like nobody wants to work these days.
That's so true.
You have to surround yourself with people that want to work. Have a good work environment where everyone loves what they do, because you have one life. No toxic work environments, and show up and do the work.
This eyeshadow palette is literally my baby.
The 21-year-old landed on Forbes' list of billionaires, ousting Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg as the youngest self-made one to ever make the list. Forbes' decision to dub Kylie self-made created a billionaire backlash.
So look, we're not complaining over here. I'm not making a victim mindset video. But at the same time, I wanted to avoid making a video that sounds oblivious to the systems that currently are in place. So let's just acknowledge that some people start off at the 100-yard line and others start off at -20. But we're all running this marathon of life and of capitalism, right? And those factors do affect a person's perception of the world. So if I want to talk about mindset in this video, you know, you have to look at other factors too, besides just growing up poor. And those other factors may influence the person to think badly about themselves. And all those factors shape the person's perception of the world. So just by confirmation bias alone, you will continue to experience the world a certain way. You're going to continue to see certain issues arise all the time if you focus on them. And since myself and this channel are about manifestation, the whole point to show all these issues is to remind you that what you focus on expands, and the beliefs that you have about yourself are what you are going to continue to manifest. So now finally to the actual mindset stuff. Again, what you focus on expands. And if you ever only focus on all the reasons why people like you can't make it, can't succeed, or why people like you are going to continue to have certain problems that will block you from success, this is what you're going to continue to manifest. And you know, my whole point in showing you the statistics of, you know, certain groups and all these things is I kind of wanted to stop the debate if this is even an issue, because I also can't stand when people deny that certain systems are in place. But then again, this is not a victim mindset video, but I also wanted to show you from that perspective, you actually can't blame people if they think a certain way about themselves. And they may not even be aware that they are coming from this place of victim mindset. Back to the numbers, what do the numbers tell you? The statistics basically say that if you belong to certain groups, you are more likely to have a certain outcome, right? So it's like a trend. You are more likely to have this certain result in your life. So if a certain outcome was more likely for you, your first mindset shift has to be that you are the statistical outlier. And there's a powerful affirmation that I started telling myself years ago, and it's been changing my life. And that affirmation is, I am the exception. I am the exception. Does that sound cocky to you? Maybe. But you know what? It doesn't matter. Because if you're grasping what I'm trying to tell you in this video, this is not about you thinking that you're better than anyone, that you're special in that way. No, that's not what we're doing. It's about convincing your mind that you can be the statistical outlier. And just because a certain outcome is more likely for a group of people that you may belong to or associate with or whatever, that doesn't automatically mean that it is really a disadvantage for you and that things may work out for you differently. This is the whole point. It's about convincing your mind that you're the lucky one. Yes, lucky. So this mindset basically tells you, since you're the exception, the outlier, that those rules and those numbers don't apply to you. So you stop associating with them. This is so, so powerful. And if this sounds ridiculous to you, then, and you're just like, oh my God, this girl, like, what is she even talking about? This is not gonna delete, the reality of all these problems out of my life. You're missing the point then, because your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. Now, if you stop associating with these concepts and with all these biases and numbers that are against you, then you will start to manifest different outcomes. And I can just tell you for myself, I was born and raised in Germany, okay? I'm half German, half American, but I was born and raised in Germany, but I was raised on the equivalent of welfare by a single mother. I'm a woman of color. So you see, and again, I'm not crying about that or saying that that's bad. But I'm just telling you, I had more than enough reasons to tell myself some really shitty stories about myself and to feel lesser, and like I always have the odds stacked against me. Exactly what I was telling you earlier. I used to have those beliefs about myself. Nowadays, I don't have them anymore, and life has been really changing. And I think I've been dismantling those beliefs over the years, but then actually a few years ago, I really realized this and was like, wait a minute, no, none of this applies to me. I just reject it. I reject these concepts. And I'm the exception, that cocky affirmation. I told it to myself over and over again. I'm telling you, life has been changing, because even though life maybe wasn't bad a couple of years ago, it's so many situations that I used to have in my life. So many of those situations that were confirming my beliefs about myself, that I'm lesser and that, the world's against me basically due to all those reasons. Once I started telling myself this, things started changing, in simple ways, such as I used to get a ton of racism growing up, and even when I moved to New York, I experienced racism in very different forms. But these days, I don't really experience it anymore. And if this kind of pisses you off, then wait a minute. I'm not saying, where did the racists go? Did they go away? No. But I stopped attracting being around people like this. For some mysterious reasons, I don't run into racist people, and if I do, they're nice to me. Things like cops. Cops used to make me nervous, and now, since I constantly apply this mindset, it's almost, I don't want to say that I'm oblivious to, the numbers and the outcomes and all of that, but it's weird, whenever I'm around cops or I have to call the cops, they're always super nice to me. When I run into them in the street, you know what I mean? Standing somewhere in front of a store where I go in, they smile at me. You know what I'm saying? It's those simple things where I just see a huge shift in my reality. And that really, and I know it's a personal anecdote, but this is a consistent thread towards my life in all those areas where I used to have problems or where I used to have weird situations, and I'm telling you, I don't attract them anymore. So again, this is not saying that this eliminates the problem. It's also not telling you that you should be oblivious to the problems. If you want to get involved and try to make the world a better place, you're still free to do that, but why not make your personal experience a lot better? Why not make your own life a lot easier? You know what I mean? If you can. If you don't believe that all these things are against you, it is so much easier to succeed. So this is the first step. Try telling yourself that you're the exception, you're the lucky one, you're the outlier, and see how that starts to shift your experience. Then the next mindset shift is, I need you to stop associating completely with anything related to the struggle. This is a little tricky because you see, I'm also not claiming that you should be oblivious that you are a member of certain groups. Maybe you see what I'm saying? So for example, when Black women talk about their hair care, I associate with this topic. I get involved or I'm interested when I see it online and I read about it, because I naturally have very coarse hair. I don't naturally have this straight wavy hair, by the way. This is a silly example, but you'll see where I'm getting here. Once I read about Black people in America are much poorer, then I reject the concept and my brain doesn't associate with it. When I see something like this, I don't get involved. I don't start thinking about how it affects me. If there's an article or a video on YouTube that I may be interested in, I still watch it almost as if I wasn't associated with the concept. Please don't take this the wrong way, but this is literally about taking your power back. This is about eliminating those limiting beliefs about yourself, and therefore you don't have to deny or reject the groups you belong to, or be in denial about how you were growing up. But I just want you to stop associating with the struggle when there's stories that say that you can make it. This is really what this is. So it's not about rejecting, you know, your upbringing, your race, your sexual identity. I don't care. It's not about that. It's just about stopping your brain to associate with the struggle. This is really what this is. So, and once you start completely applying both of those mindset shifts, you'll see that life does get better. And it automatically shifts you out of the victim mindset completely, because now you're taking your power back and now you're in control. I'm 100% convinced that anyone who applies this will get better results in life overall and have less problems and less problematic situations coming up. When you're in that better position, you can help other people better. And if you're more successful in life and if you have more money, you may have more free time to get involved in social projects, or you may have the money to donate to good causes. And that's really also kind of the bottom line of my video. It really annoys me that, you know, the people that think of themselves as good people, they find it so controversial to amass wealth or whatever. You have to look at it this way. If the wrong people run the world, we will always have these bad systems in place. If more people with a good heart become successful, then they have more power and can get involved in better causes. So you have to look at it this way. If you needed this to be the reason for you, then take this one. But as long as you're in that victim mindset, you're blocking yourself from a better experience in life, more success, more money, more freedom, you know, all these good things. Look at it this way. I really want to know your thoughts on this topic. This may be a little bit controversial, or, you know, I touched on a few trigger subjects in this video, so I'm extremely curious what your thoughts are about this. But yeah, the bottom line is really to get out of the victim mindset and see what happens when you don't focus on all the bad things and all the problems and all the reasons why you can't have nice things and why you can't succeed. So yeah, I want to know your thoughts on this topic. Leave me a comment below. And also, by the way, if you want to up-level your money mindset, I have a free money meditation link below that is for you to just up-level your mindset and rewire your brain and start to attract more money. It's linked below. Totally free. Will forever be free. And I see you guys in the next video.